that you know is going nowhere? How long is too long to cry over yesterday's mistake? How long is too long to hold unforgiveness in your heart? How long is too long to be emotionally crippled? How long will you keep making excuses for why you are not further along in your journey? How long will you point the finger at somebody else? How long is too long for you to keep hanging with people who are going nowhere so you can feel better about yourself going nowhere? It's too long to be sad and angry and frustrated about something that you can't change. How long are you going to lie there asleep by the pool of despair that has become a cot of comfort? When Jesus saw the man who had been by the pool for 38 years, he was asking him, how long is too long? How long will you stay asleep? How bad do you want to be healed? How bad do you want to be made whole? And the truth is, what a crazy question. I mean, for real, who in their right mind would want to stay in the state that he was in? Of course this man wanted to be made whole. Of course he didn't want to spend his days hanging out with folks who could not help one another. You hear, I mean, the text says that it was the lame, the blind, and the paralyzed. The blind trying to help the lame trying to help the paralyzed. He was stuck in a situation where he could not move and nobody around him could move anywhere either. I mean, they had all the powerless and all the impotent folk had been redlined to this place by this 130-foot wide, 75-foot deep giant pool called Bethesda. The powerless, the disenfranchised, the economically and socially crippled were all here, sitting under the porches that had been built to keep them comfortable in their discomfort. And the truth was, nobody was coming to help them. See, life had carried them there and left them. There were no signs in Braille for the blind, no adaptive devices for the hearing impaired, no wheelchair ramps, and no grab rails. So what an odd question. Who wouldn't want to get out of this situation? But you got to know that Jesus never asked a question just for fun. Jesus was looking for an answer. Do you want to be made whole? How bad do you want the power of God to be manifested in your life? Is there anybody who came this weekend ready to allow the power of God to touch you in some areas where you have been paralyzed? Some places where you have been stuck for years? Are you ready to get woke? Are you willing to allow God to go beneath the surface smile and to address the pain of the heart? Are you willing to let God raise the hood on our lives and see beyond the paint job, look beyond the 22s, look beyond the rim, and see what is really going on? Are you ready to let God rummage around in those bags you've been carrying around all this time? Are you ready for a change in your status? Well, the good news is that Jesus came for the man at the pool. See, the text never says the man asked him anything. The text says Jesus came for him. He didn't wait to be invited, but he sees his situation and offers him a way out. And so I've got good news for you tonight. That just like Jesus saw the man by the pool, Jesus sees you tonight. He sees you exactly where you are and exactly where you've been and exactly how long you've been there, and he is coming for you. And all he says is, I've come for you tonight. I come for you. I've come for you, but all you need is there needs to be a response. What is the response that Jesus is looking for from us? And so what I've come to tell you tonight is that you can respond to the fact that Jesus is in the room. And you can make up your mind that you're ready to get woke, that you're ready to change your status. But what it's going to require is that you have a desire. That your desire for better must be stronger than the comfort of now. Say that again. Your desire for better must be stronger than your comfort of now. See, how many of you know that complacency can be comfortable? See, there is comfort in knowing in general what tomorrow's going to be like. See, it's going to be just like today if you don't make any changes. Matter of fact, next year going to look just like this year if nothing changes. See, I don't have to figure out what I'm going to do Monday through Friday. I'm going to get up and do the same, go to the same job I've been going to for the last 15 years. No, I don't like it, and I could be doing more, but it pays the bills. See, when you don't make any changes, you don't have to worry what tomorrow looks like. You know what your bank account going to look like next week. Your bank account going to look just like it did this week. After you get paid and pay your bill, it's going to look exactly the same if you don't make any changes. See, we have to get to the place where we desire more. Our desire for better is stronger than the comfort of now. I know what I'm talking about. A few years ago, I changed my cable provider. After being 10 years with the same cable provider. I stayed with the same carrier. About 2 years ago, I changed my mobile phone company. After being with the same phone company, Bishop Mason, since 1998, when I bought my first phone in a zippered bag. They've been with the same company and their successes. A few years ago, I canceled my insurance coverage with a company that I've been doing business with for the last 24 years. Question is, why had I stayed with those companies so long? I stayed with them because it was comfortable and it was what I knew. But the truth is that I am sure that over the years, every one of these companies had done something that had made me consider moving my business. But the perceived hassle of making a move never outweighed my comfort of consistency. And so in each one of these situations, I had to be shaken. There had to be some external force applied to my complacency in order for me to make a change. You know, it was a technician who didn't seem concerned that I had to wait a week in order for my cable to be repaired. An insurance premium that doubled in 2 years. An average of I don't know, 3.5 drop calls per day. All the Sprint customers ought to say amen. An average of 3.5 drop calls per day. And all of a sudden one day I said, I can't take this no more. Something had to push me to make a change for better. But you do know that my service with the phone company hadn't been that great all along. I had endured painful service for a while. That's why I know that though pain will point to a problem, and awareness of pain is not always enough motivation to get somebody to make a change. And the reason is because folks learn how to adjust their lives to the pain. See, we learn to live lives with the pain of now, rather than putting forth the effort for a better tomorrow. Many are the domestic violence victims whose pain is not enough motivation to change. People choose pain over wholeness all the time because change requires courage. Change requires courage. The man by the pool was living a painful life, but Jesus wanted to know, did he have the desire to be made whole? I know your life is miserable, but do you have the desire to change? And what did the man say? The man starts making excuses as to why he had remained by the pool for so long. The man had some belief that the angel would come down and periodically stir the water. And when this happened, the text says that when the first person who got in the water, that person would get healed. His problem was that he didn't have anybody to get him in the pool. He said, somebody else always reaches the pool before I do. He had the same problem that some of us face. We don't have anybody to help us get in the pool. It was an excuse, but it was also true. See, nobody had been there to help him when he needed it. He had been shoved aside and stepped over. The community was not there to assist him. The church was not there to help him. You do understand that the pool of Bethesda lies right outside the sheep gate, which is right outside the temple. Which means every time they went I went to Israel 3 weeks ago, Bishop, And I went to the pool of Bethesda. And as I looked at the pool of Bethesda and saw those 5 porches and saw the sheep gate, I realized that once you stepped inside the sheep gate, the next thing was to step inside the temple. So here was a man for 38 years had been coming and being led. Somebody had to bring him there. And they had placed him on the outside of the sheep gate right beside the temple. And for 38 years, that's where he lay. And nobody helped him. He didn't have the resources to get himself into the pool. And so Jesus is asking him, but what Jesus is saying to him, he's not asking him who didn't help you. He's not asking him who didn't do what they were supposed to do. What Jesus is saying to him is, he's not saying what somebody else didn't do. He's saying it's been 38 years. Do you know that this is the longest recorded illness in the Bible? He's saying to him, this is not a temporary problem. You have gotten used to the system not meeting your needs. You have become passive because you have been let down so many times. You still show up here by the pool with the thought that a slim chance at healing is better than no chance at all. But maybe, just maybe, you're thinking that today will be the day that you reach the pool. But you know what Jesus is really trying to tell him? Jesus is really trying to tell him that your help is not in the pool. So you got this thing twisted. You think that it's about somebody helping you get to the pool. And what he wants him to understand is your help is not even in the pool. He says the living waters is standing beside you. The one who is the fountain of life is standing beside you. I need you to stop looking at the pool because the pool is not where you need to go. See, God is not trying to get you to someone or something for help. God is trying to get you to see that your help is not even in the pool. The fact of the matter is, stop sitting around wishing that you could get in the pool. We need to stop wishing that one day the fairy godmother just gonna come down, show up, wave a magic wand, and all of your troubles are gonna be over. We gotta stop waiting on Prince Charming to come and rescue us. We gotta stop looking for manna to fall from the sky. Stop waiting on your number to hit and your lotto to get lucky. You've been doing the same thing for 38 years. You have to tell your neighbor it ain't working. God wants you to know that if you want to be made whole, you got to turn away from the pool. You got to turn away from the pool and you got to look to God. You got to look to God because God alone is the one who can make the changes in our lives. God wants us to know that God alone is our hope and God alone is our help. That God alone is able to change our situations. If only we will make up our minds that we want to be made whole, there can be a change. There can be a change in your life today. Today is the moment. This weekend is the moment. Not some magic pool. Because Jesus is standing right here in front of us with his arms outstretched declaring, this is the moment. This is the time. Will you be made whole? That's what the question is. Will you be made whole? And so what you got to make up in your mind is that what I want is better than the comfort of now. But then what this text teaches us is